This meeting is being recorded.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the No Risk, No Glory podcast. And today I'm joined by my friend Nissi in the UAE. Hi, Nissi. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're on because you're obviously in a different part of the world. It's probably like the other side of the world, right? You're 8 hours ahead, so it's evening time, whereas for us it's morning time. So you've already conquered your day and we're just beginning ours. And I brought you on here to give us a little bit of a flavor of kind of how things operate where you are. So with that being said, let me give you a moment to introduce yourself. Tell me what do you do? What industry are you in, for our listeners so that they understand, and how long have you been doing it?
Okay, hi. So my name is Nissi and I live in Dubai. I've been working in real estate for the past 2.5 years. But I was actually born and raised here in the UAE. So I've lived here my whole life. I'm basically like a native. So yeah, I know everything there is to know about this country, the ins and outs. So I thought, who better to work with people's money than someone who knows everything, like me. So I decided to get into this business and I really, really, really enjoy it. And we're going to see why in this episode and why people should invest more and more in this part of the world, because it's really an incredible opportunity for everyone.
Awesome. So when you say you're in real estate, so you like real estate sales, like real estate agent.
Sales, exactly. Right? Yeah.
Okay, cool. So 2 years, that means that what, like 2 years, that was like April 2020. So right around pandemic time is kind of when you guys started.
By the way, funny thing is, around that time, there was a huge surge of new real estate agents entering the market in Dubai from all around the world, by the way. Like people were moving in from Europe, from Eastern Europe, from everywhere. They're coming in, they're working in real estate because real estate here is really booming. And the boom started at the end of 2020. And we obviously have evidence of that and we have record of that. And so I was one of those people and I don't regret it. It is an incredible experience. And I would do it all over again, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's good to know. I think that like that boom in real estate happened kind of like everywhere in the world. You know what I mean? But I mean, you guys have such nice weather, so it's not surprising that people were like, oh shit, I can't stay where I am. I got to go somewhere.
Actually, I have to disagree because to me, the weather is disgusting.
Really?
You see, it's too hot. Where you are, it's way too cold and you don't like it. You want to kill yourself every day. But
in the winter. Yeah, agreed.
And me, it's the same in the summer. Like I want to kill myself every day. But the good thing is like I'm indoors and I'm wearing a jacket because, the AC just keeps you cold all the time and you don't really feel the heat unless you go outside. Then it's unbearable, intolerable, really. But yeah, the weather. Look, you have the beaches, you have everything. It's a lot more fun to do things outdoor. So in the 6 months a year where we have good weather, like tolerable weather, we do a lot of outdoor activities. We go even outside of Dubai. We go to the mountainsides. We do hiking, camping. We go to the desert, which is really nice, like desert safaris and whatever. And of course, the beach. The beach is there like 24/7 all year round. It's just amazing. It's a natural beach. It's beautiful. It's a sea, not a lake or a pond or whatever, like where you guys are. Actual sea.
It's an actual sea, yeah, with actual sea marine animals. And I know. I remember it. It's beautiful. Like for me, when I think about Dubai, I think about like all year round vacation. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Right?
That's true. We do a lot of vacations on the weekends, and we have like 5-star resorts, 5-star hotels. You go, you just have the time of your life. You forget that you're in the UAE or that you live here. You really think you're on vacation every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a nice way to live. It's a nice way to live, I gotta say. But I agree. When you have like 55 degrees or whatever it ends up getting up to, then that can be a little rough. But it's all good. I would rather be hot and sweaty than feel my fingers falling off.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So maybe you'll help me buy some real estate out there. Right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So take me through kind of, your market. I know you guys are, obviously Dubai, most people know, is relatively young, right? Like it
Yeah.
hasn't been around for very, very long, like 50 years, right? You guys have been pretty much
Here.
growing for like 50 years. So like what's the environment like today in terms of new construction? As a, let's say, as a buyer, as an investor, and I'm looking at buying something new, like how does that whole process work over
So, as you said, it's a very new city. It's, I mean, a new country. It's 50 years old. So, Dubai started out as a virgin city. So, there was really room to grow and for a lot of opportunities to arise. And it's been growing like nonstop for the past 50 years. The vision is to keep growing. So, look, the main part of Dubai is already like fully constructed, people living there, everything's there. But now the new vision is to expand more into the desert. So they want to make Dubai an even bigger city.
there?
And they're going like to the outskirts, they're building in the desert now.
Mm,
So these new developments that are being built in the desert, they're mainly like family oriented communities, kind of the kind of thing maybe you would see in Canada, like townhouses,
mm,
townhomes, villas, like something suitable for the family.
mm,
It is a little bit far. Like you drive for around like 30 minutes from the downtown area, but then you have everything around you. So you're gonna have schools, you're gonna have like hospitals, malls, everything over there. So
mhm,
that's the new direction, because what currently is now in Dubai, I would say it's mainly like the dominant property type is towers. So
mm,
you have a lot of apartments and
mm,
high-rise towers.
mm,
And so they found that, especially after the pandemic, they found that people, want townhouses or villas to live in.
mhm,
And it's
mhm.
considerably cheaper to own a property off plan. So off plan is when it's not constructed.
Mhm.
Um, so when you get a property off plan, which you told me last time is the opposite of Canada, but you
Mhm.
get a lower price because the developers, so we have the main developers here,
So
which
sorry, just to
are
clarify, when you say off plan, that's like when we say you're buying something pre-construction, like pre-built, before it's built.
exactly,
Okay, okay.
that's
Yeah.
uh, so when the developers they release a new project,
Mhm.
you get the developer price. Let's say just for example, you have a townhouse for 1 million. First of all, you're not paying the full 1 million. You're just paying a 20% down payment.
Mhm.
And then the remaining of your payments are tied to construction. So you keep tracking the status of the construction, and they obviously email you, they update you, they notify you that your next payment is due, and you have a schedule, you have a payment schedule. So you follow that. You
Mhm.
follow the
Mhm.
payment schedules. So first of all, it is budget friendly because you're not paying the full amount. So
Mhm.
that's one advantage to pre-construction. The other advantage is when these properties are in resale, they sell for higher. So the owners make a premium. Let's say
Mhm.
I bought a townhouse now, I paid 30% because you're only allowed to resell after paying 30% of the amount. So I paid 30%. I'm like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. I can sell it for 1.2, 1.3, of course,
Mhm.
depending on the development and the project and the area and like how good the project is. But I
Mhm.
can make a premium to my pocket.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
um, so it's always better to buy pre-construction direct at the launch, the time of the launch of the project. You're getting the lowest possible price and you're getting the extended payment schedules.
Mhm.
Whereas you're getting the resale, you have, first of all, if I want to sell this hypothetical townhouse, the person has to pay me my 30%,
Yeah.
and he has to pay the premium amount, which I'm adding to the price,
Mhm.
and he has to pay the agent's commission, obviously. But like, no, when you buy directly from the developer, you don't pay commission. That's another advantage.
Ah,
Pre-construction.
interesting. So the
Yeah, yeah.
buyer is the one paying the commission, not the seller,
Not the
not the
oh,
seller. Ah, okay, okay, okay. Interesting. Because that's completely opposite from what we have.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like as a buyer, you're lucky because you don't have to pay, you know, that additional price on top. You don't have to think about that. So you're saying when somebody buys, so when you say like, you know, you paid 30%, do you mean like before it's completed, you can sell it? You can sell
Of
like,
course,
yeah, okay. So you can sell the
if
contract.
you pay 30%,
Yeah.
exactly. You sell the blueprint of this property.
Got it. You're selling the contract for that unit in the future to a potential buyer. And does that happen a lot? I mean, are people buying these off-plan units and then selling them as like a means of creating like money?
Yes, that actually, yeah. So these are the smart investors. So whenever there's a new project release, I promise you there are investors that come in, they buy like in bulk. So they buy like 10, 20 units.
Jeez.
Okay, they pay, they pay 10% for each unit, which is nothing for them.
Yeah.
And then they wait, they make the second or the third payment, whatever it is. And then they see, okay, now I can make a premium of X amount. Now I'm going to start selling. And they start selling them off individually. And that's how you make more profit. You're maximizing profit on your initial capital because you're making premium on each and every single unit that you bought.
Yeah. And then typically, I'm assuming the longer you hold them, the more you'll make as it gets closer to construction.
Exactly. So the moment the properties are ready, like they're constructed, and they're ready for handover, immediately, instantly, you can say that your price goes up 30%. Okay, your price instantly goes up 30%. So some people wait until the handover, plus because on the handover you have the bigger payment, which is 50% of the amount.
The remaining 50%. Okay.
In most cases, so 50 during construction and 50 on handover. So they wait until that payment. They don't want to pay the 50%. They want to take their premium and go. The other person will pay the 50%.
Got it. I mean, so I can assume some of these investors, especially if they're buying in bulk, are they buying with all cash, or are they at some point, let's say they decide to close and hold the property, are a lot of people taking on mortgages, or are most people buying cash?
No. Right now we are at 82% cash buyers in our market. So the dominant is cash buyers, and that's when you know you're in a good market, like you're in a safe market, because you can't tell me that all of these investors don't know what they're doing, right? They're investors from literally all around the world. Like name a country and you'll find it here. So these people are, first of all, in a market where you find a lot of cash investors, you know it's a good market. You know these are smart buyers because they know they're not going to put their cash in something that will not give them any return. No way. So since the end of 2020, we started getting a lot of these cash buyers, and we still see a lot of them now. And I believe these are the smart buyers because they're buying just as the market is going up. We haven't reached our peak yet. We expect to reach our peak at end of 24.
End of 24. So 2 years from now, kind of thing.
Yeah, end of 24 up to 2025. That's where the peak will be. That's when you will not find any cash buyers in the market. That's when these investors that bought in cash now, they will be selling. Most likely, they will be selling from now up to that point. Okay. And at that point, you'll have the homeowners who are not investors, homeowners, I mean like end users. So they don't care about making money or not making money. They just want to live in their own place. So these people are going to be, the majority are going to be mortgage buyers. At that point, the market will shift into mortgage buyers because
interesting.
Yeah, because at that point, why I'm saying 24, 25, because that's when most of the projects will be completed and handed over. So obviously, the person who is an end user, he or she will want to see their property before they buy it. They want to go on different viewings. They want to see the layout, the view, the direction, the location of the unit, all of this. So those people are going to take out mortgages and they're going to buy and they're going to live in their units. But the investors at that point, the cash investors will stop. They will just hold hold for 3 years until we have another cycle. So now we are in an up market. Buying and selling now is really good. Okay, but at that point, at 2024, cash buyers are going to stop. Even the units that they bought, probably they won't sell it at that point. They'll wait for another 3 years, because after the peak, the market goes down. It's natural. It's a natural cycle. The market will go down, and 3 years later, it will start to go back up.
Interesting. Yeah. So you have a lot of people timing the market there.
Of course. Yeah. That's our job, literally.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because here it's one of those things where it's very difficult to time the market unless you're a, investor, like full-time, you're constantly watching trends, you're seeing what's happening, you're very much involved with your, real estate agent, advisor, whatever, and you can work with them to make that timing. Because look, think about it. For the last 25 years here, at least in the GTA, the market's been constantly up. So anybody who's thought, okay, we're at the peak, let's sell now because I'm going to wait to buy in later, has made a mistake, because the prices just kind of kept going. So if you want to get back in the market, now you're getting up, now you're getting back in at a higher price. So when you tell me that, you're kind of expecting 2024, 2025 to be kind of like a peak, and then for prices to start coming down again, it makes me think, what is it that's going to cause the prices to come down? Are people going to be leaving? Or is it just this, because you have so many investor buyers, and you said 82% of them are buying cash, when they start selling, they might create that cycle. They might be the ones creating that cycle because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very interesting, how differently things are looked at. And actually, I was looking at this, maybe I can post it in a link later, but there was this chart of, real estate bubbles around the world, right? And Frankfurt is number 1, Toronto's number 2. Okay. And then there's Hong Kong, Munich, Zurich, Vancouver, Stockholm, Paris, Amsterdam, blah, blah, blah. And then you go down the list. Dubai actually is listed as the most undervalued and the only city in the index with a negative score. So it's completely the other side of being a bubble. So like you're saying, it's super undervalued right now. It says residential prices have trended down for the last 6 years, and they're almost 40% below 2014 levels. So, I mean, that kind of coincides with what you're saying. So there's definitely opportunity there. And I'm glad that, you're shedding some light on that, because, why not invest in Dubai?
Yeah.
So what are the prices? Give me an idea of how much is one of these townhomes? Because I can see that being an attractive product, like you said, for families, right? So if you can get in early, and then you can hold it and sell it to an end user who falls in love with it, they might pay an even higher premium because it's so beautiful and it's brand new.
Yeah.
So give me an idea, how a 3-bedroom, I'm assuming they're 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3 bathrooms, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna speak in dirhams. I'm so sorry. I just don't know the
problem.
Canadian dollar.
Dirhams are 3 times a Canadian dollar. So 1 Canadian dollar gets you 3 dirhams, more or less. So anything you say, we'll divide by 3. I think that's where it is.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
I'll Google it right now, real quick. Let's see. Dirham to CAD. Let's see. What does it say? It says, so 1 UAE dirham is equivalent to 0.34 Canadian dollars. So 3 dirhams is 1 Canadian dollar. So about 3 to 1.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, about 3 to 1.
So you got these townhouses or villas or whatever you want to call them. So you got them starting, first of all, you have starting 3 bedrooms. It's G+1. So you have your kitchen, living and dining. You have obviously your garden area or backyard, whatever you want to call it. You have every single townhome has a maid's room. Because we all have maids.
I like that. Okay. It's a good life you guys live out there.
Yeah. So there is a maid's room with her own bathroom. Of
Mm,
course, there's a laundry room and a pantry. Sometimes there is a guest bedroom downstairs. It depends. If it's a
mm,
4 bedroom, sometimes the extra bedroom would be downstairs, whatever.
mhm,
So you
mhm,
have this lower level, and then you go on the first level, you have just your master bedroom and the 2 other bedrooms or 3 other bedrooms, and maybe a little living area upstairs as well.
mhm,
So the sizes typically for the 3 bedroom townhouses will start from like 2,000 to 2,200 square feet.
mhm.
Uh,
Okay. It's a good size. It's a great size. That's a nice family home. Yeah.
yeah. And then the 4 bedrooms will start at like 2,400 square feet, something
Mhm.
like that.
Okay.
And prices are, well, when like in 2020, the
Mm.
prices were starting at 1.2 million dirhams. Now there is nothing that starts below 1.5 million for townhouses. I'm comparing
Yeah.
townhouses.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
just, I mean, quick math, 1.5 million dirhams is roughly 500,000 CAD, Canadian dollars.
mhm. Yeah.
And
So
so
it
you
went up.
said in 2020 they were 1.2 and now they're more like 1.5.
Yeah. Now they're selling for, and people are still buying, don't get me wrong. Like
Mhm,
the project releases are selling out within days.
mhm,
Back in 2020, project
mhm,
releases were selling out in hours.
mhm,
Now they are selling out within a matter of days.
mhm,
So people are buying, even though, and it's natural, as I said, it's just natural that prices will go up in the span of 2 years.
mhm.
The 3 bedroom will start at 1.5, the 4 bedrooms will start at like 1.8. Yeah, will start at 1.8. And you have these installments for 4 years during the construction period.
Mhm. So that's how long
Um,
they take. They take about 4 years to build the townhomes.
I would say 3 years,
3 years. Okay.
but I always put 1 extra year for delays.
Just in case.
There's always delays.
Yeah. I mean, it must be like I'm not a civil engineer, but I mean, building on sand is not
Mm,
easy, right? Like I'm sure there's a lot of foundational work that has to happen before you even
That's
get above ground, right? But like these
that's
townhome developments, they're not very tall. Like how tall are they? 2 levels?
G plus,
Yeah, that's it.
that's it. G plus
Wow.
one, but you have like a giant cluster. I'm talking about like 2,000 villas,
Yeah, okay.
2,000 units. So of course they take 3 years to construct. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
they built like a whole community. Okay, so I'll tell you something here. I don't know about over there, but here you never get just a townhome. No, you get the whole community.
Hmm.
So first of all, it's a gated community. This
Hmm.
$500,000 home,
Hmm.
which is it's such a minor investment. You're in a gated community. You
Hmm.
have the facilities, which are you have like the fitness club, you have the swimming pools, you have the fitness area, like you have like a huge community center, if you want to call it, or whatever. I don't know,
Hmm.
but it's like
Yeah, I got
the
you.
common facilities,
Got you. Got you.
and you have the jogging and cycling track all around the community. You have like they do a lot of like activities and a lot of facilities for people to
Hmm.
enjoy, because if you're dragging them out 30 minutes into the desert, what
Exactly.
are they going to do? So
Exactly.
there's a lot, like I've seen like what a lot of communities that exist now, they have, for example, like skate parks, they have water parks, like mini water parks in the community for little kids to enjoy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a playground area. So all the kids of that community go to play in that playground. You have tennis courts, sometimes you have basketball courts. Of course, the gym, the swimming pools, the sauna, whatever,
Yeah.
jacuzzi area. So you don't just get your townhome in that $500,000. You get a whole lifestyle, and you get the retail. So you have in the community, the developers also sell slash rent retail space. So you have outlets like F&B, you have salons, you have grocery stores, supermarkets, you have nurseries sometimes in a community.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so you are really getting like a full rounded experience in
Gotcha.
that town.
So
So, I
yeah,
mean,
so they're
it is,
building communities, like you said, like it's almost like a little tiny city.
It's a mini city. Yeah, like each one is a city within a city, and
Gotcha.
it's really nice. Yeah, I grew up in something like that,
Mm-hmm.
in a community like that in Abu Dhabi, but right now what they're building is a lot nicer than back then, even a
Mm-hmm.
lot nicer.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that this trend of people leaving the city, like you said, right? Like the pandemic kind of made you want more space with your own little backyard and this and that. Do you think that that trend will keep going and therefore making these, outskirts or like these like little kind of more, I guess you can call them more rural areas more popular? Or do you think that maybe people will say, maybe it's too far from me? Like I kind of want to be in the hustle bustle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. First of all, like they are already very popular. Okay, these outskirts projects and communities, they are very popular. A lot of people are moving there now, but it's a matter of taste. Like if you don't have a family, if you're a single person like me, what the hell am I gonna go do
Yeah,
in the middle of the desert, between kids and families? Like that's just not my cup of tea. So I would prefer to stay close to the beach or close to the downtown, maybe like in an urban like city lifestyle, that suits me. So it's a matter of taste.
Sure.
And there's people coming here from all around the world. So you really have a demand for everything. You have a customer for everything. And it's strange, like the inquiries I get sometimes, it's so strange, but people want different things, people have different tastes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
people moving, probably I would say like families mainly would move to these areas, but then there are other families that are more like, yeah, I'll stay in the city, I'll pay a lot more, because obviously it's cheaper to live out there.
Sure.
But there are some families that go, okay, no, I'll pay a lot more, but I still want this like luxurious lifestyle, this very like awesome, flashy life.
Got you. So, I mean, to compare, how much is something like that townhouse? Let's say the 2,200 square foot, 3-bed, 3-bath townhouse. How much is that closer to the city, closer to Dubai?
I told you, it's about like a 30-minute drive.
No, like how much would it cost to buy that same type of product closer to the city? If it's 1.2 million, 30 minutes away, how much you think you're paying for something like that in the city or closer to the city?
Okay. First of all, in the city, we don't have these townhouse projects. So in the city, you have the very, very, very high-end villas.
Okay.
And that's a different category. That's a different property type.
Okay.
So these luxury villas, you're talking about like in dirhams again.
Yeah.
I would say minimum 12 million dirhams.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In where I live, in this community where I live, because it's a very high-end community. It's by the golf course. There's a mall here. There's everything.
Gotcha.
So here, they're bigger. They're a lot bigger. We're talking about like 6,000 square foot.
Okay.
Plot area, built up area, around 5,000 square foot. So we're talking about bigger villas in the city.
Yeah.
It's a different caliber.
Totally different product. Yeah, for sure.
Totally different product. So starting with like 10 million dirhams. And then you have like other areas on the beach, like you have the Bulgaria island.
What's that? The Bulgaria island?
No, Bulgari, the brand.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay, Bulgaria. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought you said Bulgaria. I thought the Bulgarians they're building their own communities there.
Building their own islands. No, but these villas are starting with like, again, 11, 12, 13 million, and they go up to 100 million, they go up to 200 million.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can spend money if you want to spend money there. You can definitely spend. Yeah.
And the same thing with the Palm Jumeirah. The cheapest thing in the market now is 17 million. And it goes up to, as I told you, the record, which was broken last week, it goes up to like 280 million for a property in the Palm Jumeirah. So the townhouses we are discussing have nothing to do with the city, what you would buy in the city.
So, I mean, the way I look at that is if a family needs more space, then and they're not like crazy rich, right? To spend, $4 million on a property in the city, they really have no other choice but to go 30 minutes away, and now they can buy a townhouse that they can raise a family in, be in a nice little gated community. They've got everything they pretty much need. And 30 minutes is not even that far. Like, especially there where you don't deal with crappy weather. It's never really bad weather. You don't have to deal with snowstorms, So,
and you don't deal with heavy traffic either. It's really smooth because there's like
and your speed limits are like, I think you have speed limits. Do you even have speed limits?
Yeah.
You do now. Okay. Because when I was there, I don't think there were that many, or it was like 150 kilometers an hour or something like that.
No. It's no. It's between 120 to 130 kilometers per hour. Okay. That's the speed limit. But also you don't have traffic. You don't have an issue with traffic because you have 5 main highways. That I'm talking about, like huge highways, like I don't even know how many lanes, but you have very massive highways, 5 of them that connect all of Dubai. So you can really go and come very smoothly. There's like no traffic. There's multiple routes you can take. If one of them is blocked, whatever. If one of them is, it depends where you're going. So which one connects you faster to your destination? You choose your highway. So there's multiple different routes. The infrastructure here is crazy. It's not like anything else in the world. Yeah. It's really amazing. Every day, like every other day, you would wake up and there's a new bridge or there's a new tunnel.
Yeah.
Like seriously, they build it like Legos. Like it's just like a new bridge, a new tunnel, a new road, a new intersection. I don't know. It just want to make life easier for people.
Sure.
So activity and infrastructure really is no problem. So you can live anywhere. And I'm giving you 30 minutes is like the maximum. It could
even
be 20,
better,
20. Yeah.
So just to compare, like how much so if it costs about 1.2 million dirhams, right? Let's say somebody wanted to rent, let's say they can't buy, right? And they can only rent. How much are they paying in rent? Because I'm assuming there are investors that buy these things and hold them as rental properties.
For rent.
Yeah.
So for 3 beds, I would say like maybe 120,000 dirhams per year.
120,000 dirhams per year. So divide that by 3. That's like $30,000 to $40,000 a year.
To rent that townhouse. Yeah.
To rent that townhouse. I mean, that's like 8% a year return on a $500,000 property. With so if you bought it for 500,000 and you're making 40,000 a year, you'll basically pay it off in 10 years, or your tenant will pay it off in like 8 years or whatever that is. That's really good.
True. Yeah. And keep in mind, we don't have taxes here. We don't have property tax.
Yeah.
So there's nothing going anywhere, except we do have something called service charge. Okay. So you just have to pay yearly a very small amount to the developer to maintain the community, to maintain security guards, you have the lifeguards, you have the cleaners, all of these people. So it's called a yearly service charge, but it's a very tiny amount. It's really like, it's
like a maintenance fee. We call those maintenance fees basically here.
Yeah, we call them service charge or service fees, but it is the maintenance fee, the same thing.
So these developments, they're freehold. It's not like a condo townhouse. It's a freehold property, and then you pay the service fee as part of the community kind of thing, like a
because the developer provides you with the security guards, with the cleaners, with the lifeguards, with all of these things, the pool, the maintenance of the pool, the gym, just everything, the cleanliness, even the landscaping. So you have the trees and the grass and the beautiful landscaping. It needs to be maintained.
Sure. But that also means, that's worth it, because then you have no work to do. Like it's very,
you don't have work to do.
Yeah, hassle-free completely.
hassle-free, but also the community always looks young and fresh.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
they take good care of it.
Yes.
So it is an advantage, like to pay that service charge. Anyway, you don't have a choice; you have to pay it. But
Sure.
it is an advantage. I'm saying
Yeah.
that the
Yeah,
developer
yeah.
has to take care of everything around you.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Go on.
That's really good information. I mean, I really like the fact that, you know, it's different. It's obviously different. So the thing that comes to my mind is thinking as an investor, you know, do I have to put down the 500,000 or can I borrow some money? Let's say I put down the 50%, 250K. Are there places I can go to borrow the other 50%?
So you
As
can
a
get
foreigner, let's say, because I'm obviously
you're not a resident.
I'm a foreigner, right? So as a foreigner, are there special rules that apply to me?
Yeah. So as we call it non-resident.
Okay,
You're a
non-resident.
non-UAE resident. You don't have a visa or a residency to live here. You don't have an Emirates ID.
Yeah.
So as a foreigner, as you're saying,
Yeah.
you can get a mortgage from any bank up to 50% only, 50% of your property value. So
Okay.
here for us residents, we can get up to 80%, but for we'll never get 100%. But anyway, for non-residents, you can get up to 50%. So
Okay.
it depends on a lot of things. Of course, the bank will do their due diligence and they'll ask you for a lot of things. But at the end of the day, you may be able to get up to 50% mortgage here in Dubai to buy a property as a foreigner, which is a huge plus also.
Absolutely. And how much, what's the interest rate on something? Like, how does that mortgage look? Because here you'll get a mortgage, it'll be amortized over, let's say 30 years today the rate's like 3%. 3 months ago, the rate was 1.5%. So the rates have doubled almost in the last couple of months with interest rate hikes and that kind of thing, which is, I think, happening everywhere in the world. So like, what does the mortgage look like? What is it structured like?
So it really depends. I'll tell you something, because it depends from one bank to another. There's no like set standard like interest rate or number of years. You can get maybe you'll get 15 years, maybe you'll get 30 years. Okay. You get what I mean? Maybe you'll get, it really depends on a lot of things, like where your income is coming from,
Gotcha.
You know, how much money do you have? What do you do
Fair
for
enough.
a living?
Fair
Just
enough.
like
yeah. That makes sense. So the bank is obviously looking at your application and saying, is this someone that I want to lend my money to? Is this someone that I can, that I'm comfortable lending money to?
Because in the past, unfortunately, there were a lot of people who took out so many loans and ran away, fled the country, never came back. Of course, they're banned from coming back, but the money is gone. They're not bringing back any money. And so they're very, very careful with that stuff. I would say the process is very, very, very detailed, and rightfully so. Like, I would want it to be detailed. I don't. So because look, previously, again, because Dubai is relatively a young place, previously people they say like, they don't have these strong regulations about like money laundering or whatever when it comes to properties. But now, since 2019, they came up with very strong like rules and regulations and like restrictions of people who are buying properties. So now we have anti-money laundering procedures that we have to take as brokers. Okay. We have KYC regulations. We have AML forms that we have to fill out. We need to get proof of funds from all like overseas buyers, obviously. I'm now being requested to submit a lot more documents that I had to submit 2 years ago. So what I want to say is investing here is becoming a lot more secure. So no one's really gonna steal your money, or no one's really gonna rob you of anything. Everything here is super secure. First of all, you're putting your money in an escrow account, first of all. Okay, you're not giving your money directly to any developer, because it happened in the past where developers took money and went away. Now everything goes through escrow. You have Yeah, so you have all of these things that make your investment very, very, very secure. I know this is for foreigners, it's like a number one concern. Like, is my investment secure?
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
can, yeah, I can obviously sit down with that person and explain to them why the investment is very secure. You know, that's why we have meetings, we have calls with our clients to explain to them that this is not that place that you have in your head,
Yes.
which is like a big fat mess. No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. That's really good. I mean,
Mm.
that just adds to, you know, it just kind of creates an even bigger reason to want to invest there. Like if the returns are good, you can borrow money as a foreigner. And what do you think the interest rate would be? For example, like what's an average? Like, is it 10% or is it like 5% or is it like 2%?
No. I wouldn't say 10%. I would say maybe 4.5 or something similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't really deal with mortgages. I've never
Sure.
had a mortgage buyer in my life, but we do have mortgage buyers that we work with.
Sure.
So, but I never had to work with one until now.
Okay.
Which is very strange. But yeah, I mean, I've always had cash buyers.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would say like around 4.5%.
Okay.
But yeah, so again, investing here is very secure, and of course, it's a very, very, very safe country. Like I was honestly, I was robbed at gunpoint in the U.S. and
Oh,
I was
shoot.
yeah, literally, I was robbed at gunpoint
Where?
in Chicago
Okay. Yeah. Chicago's rough.
in 2017. But here,
Wow.
I mean, it never crossed my mind that something like that would ever happen to me, because here I go out alone by myself at any hour of the night, walk anywhere in the street and have as much cash as I can possibly fill
Mhm.
my pockets,
Mhm.
and no one dare to come near me. It's extremely safe. I mean, like, I couldn't believe it when that happened to me in the US, because I was like, I never ever thought this can happen in real life. I thought it was just something in the movies. And also, we don't even have guns here.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
just seeing a gun for the first time being pointed at me was like, what's
Wow.
going on? Like, I was in shock for days. Like, we don't have guns, we don't have violence, we don't have murder, we don't have nothing. No
That's
crime.
wild.
Absolutely no crime. No robbery, no theft, no crime. I leave my front door open and I leave because I live in Dubai.
Yeah.
But my family, they live in Abu Dhabi, which is another city. It's like an hour and a half away. I leave for the weekends. I stay at my parents' house in the weekends in Abu Dhabi. I leave my front door open the entire weekend. I mean, unlocked, not open, closed, but unlocked.
Yeah. Why? Why don't you lock it?
Because I don't need to.
I mean, do you have friends that like need to come and like, you know,
No,
use
I
the
never
space?
had people just come over unexpectedly, but I mean, why would I lock it? I just don't have to. You know, taking the key out and putting it in the door lock and like turning it is a bigger hassle. Too much effort. Like, literally,
you don't want to sweat. Yeah, it's too hot there. You don't need to do unnecessary work. Yeah.
Like, we sleep with our doors unlocked. Like, it's so incredibly safe. There's security cameras everywhere, security guards everywhere. They're even like, sometimes I feel like their job is pretty useless because nothing ever happens. So it's incredibly safe. That's something I wanted to highlight to the white audience or whoever is watching. Like, it's just so safe here. And
well, I mean, let me like there's I mean, when I was there, I didn't see any poverty. Like there was you don't have poverty there, right?
Yeah.
And that's probably a big reason why. Like in Chicago, it's a totally different story. So I'm sure the guy that robbed you, you know, he needs that money. Oh, it was a girl. Wow.
But I'll tell
were you
something.
okay? Like, did they like, they didn't attack you? They just wanted your money, right? And then they went and they left. Yeah.
She just wanted the money. But listen, I'll tell you why this is an interesting point you brought up. I'll tell you why there's no poverty here, because in this country, you're not allowed to stay here unless you have a job. And if you have a job, obviously you have an income. You have either housing, which is like offered to you by your employer. You have housing, or you just have a really good salary and you can afford your own housing. The people that stay here, who are like on visitor visa, they're staying here like on tourism visa, basically, they can stay up to 6 months only. And then they have to exit the country and come back. But that's a tourism visa. But if you're a resident, if you have an Emirates ID card, you are a resident of this country, you cannot be here unless you have a job or someone supporting you, someone sponsoring you. Like, for example, if I'm not working now, my sponsor would be my father. So that's fine in that case. But if I had no one, I need to have a job. That's why there's no poverty. There's no one here with no job. If you don't have a job, unfortunately, sadly, you have to leave. You just go back home or go somewhere else to find another job.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge difference. And so that lends itself to the place being safe, right? And, you know, if it's safe and then you feel more comfortable raising a family in a safe community and safe environment. And so then slowly you'll get more and more, I'm assuming you'll get more and more people come there as other parts of the world get less safe.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So people are coming here a lot. We discussed this last time. People are coming from Europe a lot because first of all, their taxes are a lot higher now. So they're escaping taxes. They're also coming here because it's incredibly safe. And because during the pandemic, Dubai proved to the entire world that it really was the most stable and safe place to live, because we did not get affected one bit. Like, we were safe, our jobs were there, our money was there, our healthcare was incredible. Everything was provided to us. We did not need anything throughout the pandemic. Our only issue was, oh, I'm bored. You know, that's it. Yeah. We had no real problems, thankfully, you know, touch wood. But people here, so people saw that during the pandemic. People saw that. And when they came here for vacations, escaping the winter or escaping whatever, they came here, escaping lockdowns, actually. Europe was in a very, very, very restricted lockdown for a long time. Escaping lockdowns and coming here, people thought, wow, I'm not leaving this place. So a lot of people actually moved here in the last 2 years more than ever, you know, especially from European countries, because they're very close. If their business is based in Europe, they're very close to their business, they're close to their family and friends, but they're choosing to live just a better life here. They can afford it. They can choose to live a better life here.
Sure. Yeah. And then go ahead.
No, but also not only from Europe, because I just also want to point out, we've seen a lot of different like nationalities come in the last 2 years, from like Latin America, from North America, from everywhere. Like, we've seen a lot of people coming in from different parts of the world, more than before. Yeah. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say, like, if you're European, what is it, like a 3-hour flight from, say, I don't know.
Exactly. Like 3-4.
London, whatever, 3-4 hours. Yeah. It's nothing. You know, you read a book, and you're there.
Yeah.
Have lunch. I mean, my lunch meetings sometimes last 3 hours, right? So those are good lunch meetings. I like those. Nissi, amazing. I mean, really good information. I'm really glad that you came on. Let me switch gears and we'll end it off here. I want to ask you, one last question, and that is, what's like a really big decision you've had to make in your life so far, or in your career, whatever, that, at the time you weren't really sure of, but now looking back at it, you would repeat it 100% because it's been so, positive for you?
Okay. I don't want to sound cheesy, I don't want to sound like a cliche, but honestly, 100% truthfully, I'm saying this. Before the pandemic, I was very unhappy with my life. I was going through like severe depression. I was going to therapy. I was trying to like work on myself, and it wasn't working. Nothing was working. I had so many issues, and I wasn't working because I couldn't stick to one job. It was a problem. I just couldn't. I would end up just like,
zoning
it
out.
was a anyway, so it was a disaster. So then the pandemic hit, and I had a really bad accident, by the way. I broke my back, and I had a very big surgery, life-changing surgery.
Okay.
So And then, so that happened. And I was like, okay, it's one of two things. Either I end my own life right now, or I have to do something to
Mm-hmm.
change my life, to
Mm-hmm.
change my environment. I can't keep doing this forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I changed my environment. I moved out here to Dubai. I went into real estate, which I never did before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a pure coincidence that I got into this field, but it literally changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm extremely happy that I did this, because it just like it opened up my eyes so much. You know, you meet a lot of different people. You meet,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like you get to know a lot of people, and then you see what's out there that maybe you were blinded
Mm-hmm.
by that, or you see what's really out there, what life is about, and it really opened up my eyes, and I love it, and I would do it all over again. As I said, I'm not trying to be cheesy or whatever, but that's the truth. And yeah, like now I know, like I think about my own future. I think, oh, I want to invest in this. I've already invested, so I bought my own property now, and I'm
Good.
renting it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I
Amazing.
think about investing. I never thought about these things before. So now
Mm-hmm.
property, crypto, maybe in the future, maybe like, I don't know, like gold, whatever. Like I'm now thinking of how to better my own future, which I
Mm-hmm.
never thought of before.
Mm-hmm.
Just it
Mm-hmm.
really like broadens your perspective, I think. And it makes you think there's more out there that you can do for
Mm-hmm.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
for your future.
Wow.
And I'm just single, so I'm enjoying life also, you know.
Sure.
Moved out to a new city. It's a beautiful place, so much fun.
Yep.
The activities are endless.
Yep.
It was a great decision I made. I'm glad
That's
I have
amazing.
one
Wow.
success story in my life.
Well, listen, thanks for sharing that. I mean, that's huge because I think there's a lot of people that find themselves in that situation. So let me ask you this. When you looked at joining real estate or getting into real estate, was it like scary? Did it scare you a little?
Yeah, I would say, because I knew nothing about it at the time, but I had this like strange confidence that like, oh, I can do it. Like,
Good.
I was like, why not? Like, I'm pretty, and I'm very, very, very well educated.
Mm-hmm.
And I've lived here my whole life. So I know
Mm-hmm.
this place,
Mm-hmm.
and I can talk to people. So my background is in communication. So I can
Mm-hmm.
talk to people, and
Mm-hmm.
people really like talking to me. So I was like, why not? I can do it. I can try it. It was a
Amazing.
moment of despair. I had to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know what else I would have done.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
I
so
had
everything
to.
lined up for you. Everything kind of lined itself up for you at the, so you did it at the right time, you were in the right place, and you were in the right mindset to kind of make
Yeah.
that decision. And listen, you sound like you know what you're talking about. So I'm assuming you know what you're doing. And hopefully you can help me, buy something out there because it
Of
sounds
course.
like a really good investment. And I'm always about, what else is out there? What are the other opportunities? Like you said, once you get involved with real estate, you start thinking about how can I grow my wealth? How can I make my future brighter than my past? And then, you're single, enjoy it while it lasts. But
Mhm.
at some point when you have a kid, then you start thinking about their future and what can you do
Yeah.
for their future that's going to improve,
Yeah.
improve.
But also exactly what you said. Also, one very good point is right now I would encourage anybody to invest in real estate, really not because it's my field, but because we're going through inflation, okay? And our money is not safe in the bank. It's losing value every single day. And the best thing to do is put it in a physical asset, whatever that physical asset may be. That's
Yep.
fine, go for it. But I think
Yep.
real estate is one of the best assets you can have for your future. Definitely put your money in real estate, no matter how small. Maybe because I bought a small 1-bedroom apartment in a building, okay?
Mhm.
So not a townhouse or a villa or nothing like that. But no matter how small the investment is, it will be better for your future. Just put your money somewhere safe, in a safe physical asset, really. And don't
Absolutely.
let it lose value over time, because that's ridiculous what's happening now with like inflation and all of
Yep.
that stuff. Even, yeah.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there because it's so true. Your money is definitely not, I mean, I don't know if you know Ray Dalio. He's the founder and owner of one of the largest hedge funds in the world, Bridgewater Capital. He was famously quoted for saying, cash is trash because of that reason, right? Like it's because of the fact that they can just turn on a printer and print the dollar that you have in your pocket. It just makes it less valuable because it's easy to create. Gold is not easy to create. You have to dig it out, and it's hard to dig it out. Real estate, you have to create it. Somebody has to take the risk of owning that land, hiring people, doing all that stuff. And there's a really good quote by Franklin Roosevelt, and I'll read it out for you. Real estate cannot be lost or stolen, nor can it be carried away. Purchased with common sense, paid for in full, like you guys do there, and managed with reasonable care, it is about the safest investment in the world.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is the safest investment, actually. That's very true. It's like an investment for people who are scared, I would say, of investing anywhere else.
Exactly.
They would say,
exactly.
oh, let me invest in this, like it's a house. It's people need a place to live, so
yeah.
So it will
the
always
oldest
be
way. Yeah, it's the oldest, it's the longest or the oldest form of generating wealth. I think any wealthy individual owns real estate in some form.
Yeah, of course. And people will always need a place to live, so it will always hold value. You can never sell it for nothing. You
Absolutely.
can't. It's a house.
So the key is just finding the right place to invest at the right time, and then you can really push your gains. So it sounds like it sounds like you're onto something, and maybe you can share some of these blueprints with me, later down the road, and if anybody else is interested, I'm happy to share that. We can stay in touch with Nissi and see how things go. And but thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us here today. It was a lot of fun.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was really,
You have any last words of wisdom you want to share?
No, just as you said just now, you have to know where you're investing. So don't just come here and buy a property without knowing where or with who. So get a really good real estate agent like me.
Good, I like that plug.
Who will take you to the best projects, because this place isn't heaven, it's not paradise, right? There are crappy developments, but there are really good developments, really good investments, very good return on your money. So come and have a chat with someone experienced and professional, and I'm sure that it will be good for everybody. I'm gonna send you some stats. Maybe you can just write it down in the caption or in the comments about how much real estate was sold in the last year, in the last quarter, all of that. So people can see that, for sure, all these people that are buying 330 billion dirhams worth of properties are not all idiots.
Exactly.
So I'll just send you some stats. The numbers are very impressive, very positive, and very, very, very optimistic. And I think people should really get enthusiastic after this episode.
Yeah. So ride the trend. I mean, the trend is your friend, right? If all of this smart money is investing, then and if you're not, then you're not the smart money.
Yeah.
Right? So be the smart money is what we're saying.
Yes.
Good.
Exactly.
Good. Awesome. All right, Nissi, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your evening. And
you too.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks. You too. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.